So let's understand how switch user works. Now once you log into your Unix session as your own ID, and then you want to connect for some time as some different user. So assume that I was initially connected as my user ID Dick, and momentarily I want to log in as, let's say, user 30. Then I don't have to disconnect from here or open another parallel session for that machine. I can temporarily change from my current identity Dick to the other identity, let's say user 30, using the switch user command. So switch user command allows you to maintain your session as Dick and then momentarily get a new identity that is of user 30 or whosoever. To do this, as Dick user, I need to type in with or without option, rather hyphen, the targeted username. It prompts me for the password. So as user Dick, I said switch user to user 30. It prompted me for the password of user 30. I typed in that password, and now this is my current identity. Now whatever I wanted to do, I will do as that user 30, and once done I would type exit. I am back as user Dick. So it momentarily allows you to change your current identity to the targeted user's identity. SU, which is switch user, allows you to change your account or switch as another user. When username is not mentioned, if I do not mention the username, then Unix would assume that you are trying to become a root, the super user. SU command then prompts you for the password of the target user. So it will prompt you for the password. See here, I said SU, I didn't mention username. That means I am trying to be root. Then I must type the root's password. If you see my current identity now, I am root. On the similar lines, I can change to any other user, or that matter user 3. My current identity is user 3. If I type exit, I am back to my original ID. Now, so we talked about SU and optionally followed by username. If I don't mention username, Unix will assume that I am trying to take over the new identity of root user. There's another thing that is also optional, is whether or not to specify a hyphen between switch user command and the username. That hyphen is optional. If mentioned, the target user's environment would come in effect. If not mentioned, then the original user's environment settings would be visible. So consider this case. I typed ID. Who am I as of now? As of now I am Dick. I am going to tmp directory and I type pwd command. So it shows that Dick user is currently there in the tmp folder within my file system. Here I am trying to define a variable. This is the way you define a variable in Unix. I said export city is equal to Pune. So there is a variable called as city, and then I assigned it a value, text value, Pune. So whatever I have done so far, it's in my environment, Dick user's environment. Now I am trying to switch to a new user with a hyphen this time, something like this. So I said su hyphen user 5. It again prompts me for the password of user 5. Once I am logged in, I am there. Now if I type pwd, see, I am no longer in tmp folder. Earlier as a Dick user, where I was under tmp. If I try to see my ID, I am no longer Dick. I am now user 5. I said show me the value of the variable city. It prints nothing. Means whatever user defined variables were available in Dick's session, none of them are available in the new user session. So understand what is that caused the difference. When you mention a hyphen, the target user's environment would come in effect. Target user is, in my case, user 5. So user 5's environment will be visible. So home directory of user 5, any variable that user 5 has declared, only those are visible. None of my previous identity related data, environment settings, present working directory of Dick would be visible as user 5. That is the use of that hyphen. But understand what if you do not mention that hyphen? When you do not mention that hyphen, then the original user environment settings will be visible. See what I mean by this. I said, who am I? I am Dick. I said, what is my present working directory? It's TMP. I said, what is the value of the variable city? It's Pune. Now this time while switching, I switch without that hyphen as user 5. It again prompts me for user 5's password. I said, see where I am. This time it does not take me to the home directory of that user. I said, who am I? I am user 5. I said, what is the value of the variable city? Which means whatever environment settings were defined by the previous user, if you want to take on to the new user's environment, switch the user account without a hyphen. If you want to bring in entirely new environment into effect, and that new environment should be that of the new target user, user 5, then switch it with a hyphen. I am coming out of this account. I am back to my original account as Dick. To come out of the new identity, you can type once the exit command as that new user, user 5 in my case. When the su command is executed as root, it does not prompt you for a password. So while a general user tries to switch in as an identity, it prompts you for the password of that new user as to which you are trying to switch to. If you try to switch as a general user to root, again it will prompt you for the password of root. But if I am logged in as root, then I can pretty much switch to any account without being prompted for the password because I am a super user. So see here, I am opening a separate session. I am logging directly in as root. If root wants to become Dick, it does not prompt for a password. So now I am Dick. If root wants to become user 5, it does not prompt you for a password. I am user 5. But if user 5 wants to become user Dick, then it prompts for a password. Who was the current user who typed the su command? User 5. And user 5, if you wants to become a new user, it prompts you for the password. That's what I mentioned here. When su command is executed as a root user, then it does not prompt you for the password of the target user. Now there's a small variation to this one. So people say this is very troublesome, that I want to run only one command, and for running that command I need to change from my user to somebody else because I want to run that command as someone else. And then once the command is run, I have to come out. Isn't there a shortcut available to this one? Let's say I wanted to type ls and pwd commands as user 5. As of now, who am I? I am Dick. So I said go to user 5, type ls command, type pwd command. Once done, come out. So it's troublesome. So isn't there a shortcut available? There is indeed. You can say user 5. This is how you switched it. But you don't want to log in and log out. Then you just want to run a simple command there. So -c followed by the command. If you check my identity now, I am no longer user 5. So it only switches momentarily for the command. It prompts you for the password. But there is no need for you to type exit command to return to your original ID. So that ID was in effect only for the duration of the command that you type. So I said switch my identity as user 5 momentarily until I run the command ls. So when I typed this, I was Dick. When the command was run, that command was run as user 5 and I am back to my account as user Dick. You could also run multiple commands using multiple -c arguments. So if I said so one of the commands output probably was overwritten by the previous one. So I said run a command called as hostname and run a command who am I. So probably that command was previous command's output was overwritten. What if I want to run a bundle of commands? You could have probably said ls hostname and who am I. See here. So this is the output of ls command. This is the output of hostname command and this is the output of who am I command. But if I check my identity is still that of my original user Dick. So it momentarily switched only for the duration of running those commands and back to my account again. So you can run a bundle of commands with a single C argument and followed by in double quotes all the commands that you want to run. Commands themselves should be separated with a semicolon. Now let's run through a simulation. I would log in as whosoever, let's say user 1, and then we'll try to run through a small exercise. This is to help you understand what is the difference between who am I and who am I. Means one with a space, one without a space. So understand this. I am currently logged in as user 1 who is a member of Unix lab. I go to TMP folder and then I type pwd. It says you are into present working directory. In your case is /tmp. I said who am I? It says user 1. I said who am I, this time with a space. It gives me more detailed information about my identity, saying you are user 1 logged in at a line or a terminal PTS/4 at so and so date and time from this particular IP address. So up till now it's all clear. None of these commands are new for us. Now I am switching my identity as user 5. It prompts me for a password. Since I used hyphen, all environment will be that of user 5. None of the environment would be coming from my user 1. So I said ID. It says you are user 5. I said pwd. See, it's no longer in TMP directory. It's under the home directory of user 5 because users 5's new environment is in effect. I said who am I without space. It says you are user 5. Now I said who am I. See what it shows. So understand the difference between who am I and who am I. Who am I without space shows me my effective user ID, my current user ID. Whereas who am I with a space shows me my original ID with my original session, with which my original session was established. My original session was established as user 1. That's why my original identity is shown in who am I. Now when I type the same thing as user 1, there was no difference. Who am I? My current identity was user 1, and who am I? My original identity was also user 1. But when I type now, after switching the user, I said who am I? It says your current identity is user 5. I said who am I? It says your original identity is user 1. So understand the difference between who am I and who am I. Changing the effective group for a user using new group. This is also interesting. A user can be a member of more than one groups, but only one group can be assigned as a primary group for that user. So I can have membership to multiple groups, but at any given point in time, even if I am a member of several groups, my primary group could be only one at a time. So see it here. I am logging in as root so that I can show you a demo. I am creating a new group called as GRP1. I am creating a new group called as GRP2. I am creating a new group called as GRP3. So I created three different groups, group 1, group 2, group 3. Now I am creating a user with the name test user who is primarily a member of group 3, and he also secondarily belongs to group 1 and group 2. Name of the user is test user. So understand this. Small g followed by group name indicates my primary group. Capital G followed by a multiple groups comma separated list indicates my secondary group membership, and the user in concern is test user. If I type ID followed by that user, here you will get to know. User's ID is 540, name is test USR. Group ID is 1003, the primary group to which he belongs to is group 3. The secondary group membership for this user is 2001, 1002, which is GRP1 and GRP2 respectively. Now understand what I am trying to say here. If I try to switch as test USR and I checked my ID, if I touch a file and if I check who owns it, so it's owned by test user of group 3. So for any files that you create, which group is attached by default? It's only your primary group that is attached. Now consider a case that I want to change my effective group from group 3 to group 2 momentarily. I can say new GRP group 2. I checked my ID now. Do you see any difference? Here instead of group 3 now it is showing group 2. So my effective current group is group 2. I touch new.txt and I say show me who owns it. Understand the difference. Earlier the file was owned by test user who was primarily a member of group 3. But since my now new effective group ID is group 2, if I create a file now, the group ownership of that file belongs to group 2. I exit and I typed ID. See now, back to my original group. I typed exit. Now I am back to root. So new GRP allows you to change your group from secondary group to primary group. But there is one important thing. Number one, you should be a member of that group. This is mandatory. Otherwise, with new GRP, you could have changed your group belonging to some other group probably which you are not a member of. That's not possible. First, you must be a member, and then from the secondary group, you can make any one of those groups as your primary momentarily. If I switch now, again my primary group is in effect. If I want to switch to a new group momentarily, then I can say GRP1. Then I say touch new.file and I see who owns this new.file. GRP1. Group ownership of that file is to GRP1. If I type exit, I am back to my original identity, that is of group 3. If I type one more time exit, I am back to my original user. when the user logs into the Unix machine, the primary group of that user becomes the effective group. To change the effective group to some other groups assigned to that user, you can say new GRP group name. So consider a case. I added a group called as primary group. I added one group called as secondary group. I added one more group as a tertiary group. Then I added a user named demo who is primarily a member of group, primary group, but other group membership that he also enjoys is secondary and tertiary group. He is also a member of other groups. If I log in as demo, if I check the ID, it shows my primary group. Then if I touch a file f1.txt, the group ownership of that f1.txt will be for primary group. I can change my momentarily from any of my secondary groups to that of my effective group by saying new grp secondary group. If I check now id command, it shows my effective group is now secondary group. If I touch a file f2, the group ownership of that file will be for my effective group, SEC grp in this case. Note, you can only change to group which was previously assigned to you. You can't randomly select any of the groups that exist on the system and change to them. Let's try to do this and see what happens. I said connect me as test USR, and then I said new grp root. See what it says? It says sorry. I said change my group to Unix lab. It says it needs a password. It's password protected. I typed some password. It says nothing. You are not a member of that group. Clear? So that password it is prompting is for the group. But groups are not protected in our case with a password. In short, I am saying you can only change to a group for which you have been a member of. So what is the purpose? Activating one of the secondary groups as your effective group is the purpose of new grp command, new group. Next one, this topic is even more important, that is understanding links. Links is nothing but it allows you to create an alias for a file or for a directory. You can create multiple alternate names for a given file or to a given directory. A link allows you to create an alias either to a file or to a directory. I can create an alternate name for a file or a directory. There are two basic types of links. One is called as hard link. Another is called as soft or symbolic link. The command to create a link is ln optionally followed by -s argument source file, the original file to which you want to create an alias, and the name of the link, with what name you want to create that alias as. First, we'll try to understand what is a hard link. A hard link creates an alias for a file. Hard link cannot link directories. So this is the first limitation of hard link. Hard link can only allow you to create an alias for a file, but not for a directory. Both the source and the target file, the target file is nothing but a link name or an alias, must be under the same file system. They both must be under the same file system. A file system is a separately formatted disk or a disk partition which is then mounted using some mount point name. So what is important? Both my source and the target file must be from the same disk if you are using the disk as whole, or must be from the same partition if that disk has been further partitioned. You cannot say using a hard link I want to link a file from one disk to another. That is not possible. You can't link a file from one partition to another. That's not possible. Both of them should be under the same file system. This is one of the another limitations of you using a hard link. Okay, how to create a hard link then? I am back as Dick in my home directory. I am creating a file called as original.txt. I am editing and I am adding something to it. The name of this file is original.txt and I saved it. I am checking it. This is what I see. I said ls-l and I is to print the inode number. So this is what I see about my file. This is the unique inode number of my file. Now I want to create an alias for this file. I am saying ln source followed by target alias name. Source is original.txt. Alias is firstname.txt. So I have created an alternate name for the same file. Firstname.txt. I see both the files now and see what you see. Couple of differences. Originally, the link count for my original.txt was showing as 1. After I created an alias, it shows me as 2, both for original.txt and firstname.txt. The inode number of original.txt was 203554. It's the same inode number being shared by firstname.txt, which means I am not talking about two files. I am talking about the same file with two different names. If I say now cat firstname.txt, see what it shows? Clear? So firstname.txt is an alias, alternate name created for original.txt. People say is it like a copy? It's not like a copy. Copy would have created two files with two separate names. Here how many files are there? Only one file, but with two different names. How do I prove that it's not a copy? I am editing firstname.txt and I am adding this line was added in firstname.txt. Now I am checking what's there in original.txt. Clear? This proves that I am not talking about two separate physical files. The file is one, there are two names to it. One is original.txt, another one is firstname.txt. Now people often ask me, can you tell me which is the original file and which is an alias? How does it matter? Doesn't matter, right? If I say original.txt was the original name and firstname.txt is actually an alias for it, what would it change in your life? To other people on other day, in other mood, I said no, the original file is firstname.txt and an alias for it is original.txt. What difference it would make to their lives? Nothing. So don't debate. So it doesn't make any difference whether I am referring to the file with the original name or with a duplicate name or whatever, with an alias. It's one and the same for you as long as the file is same. So say ln source file followed by the alias. If you checked with ls-li, it will show you that the inode number is same. The link count is going up. The inode number 201533 is same for both the files first.txt and alias first.txt. Both the files are showing the file type as regular file. Second observation. Both of them are reportedly showing as regular file. Third observation, size of both the file is same, obviously. And also the modification timestamp is same. I can see both the files are reportedly showing the size as 79 bytes in my case. And for both of them, that modification timestamp is also the same. The link count column shows how many links are active. How many links are active for this file? 2 links. Means one is original name and one that of an alias. Let's create one more name for this file. So I said I am again using it with ls-li. All of them are showing me the same inode number. All of them are reportedly showing me it's a regular file. Link count column has now gone up by 1. All the files are showing me the same size, the same modification timestamp. Names are however different. This time while creating an alias, to which file I created an alias? Original. People say, what if I create an alias for an alias? First name.txt, third name.txt. Actually first name itself was supposed to be an alias for original.txt. Doesn't matter. Clear? So don't spend your time on understanding which is my original file and which is an alias. That's not important. Important is the same file is being referred to by multiple names and link count column proves this. Now see what happens when I delete an alias. I said rm, then I check. I removed it and I'm checking now. It says now there is no file with the name third name.txt. I recently removed it. From the link count column 4 with a value 4, it has shrunk to value 3. Because now for that inode number there are 3 names associated. People say, what if you delete the original file? What will happen to the aliases? I said delete this. Now I check. Now this time there is no original.txt. There is no third name.txt. But instead still there are first and second name.txt. Link count column has gone down by 1. Inode number is still the same. Clear? If I still check, I can still see the text. So delete the original file or an alias. As long as there are active links available to it, you can still refer to the file. People say, what if I delete first name.txt? Can I still access it? Answer is yes. How do I see this file this time? With a link count 1. People say, what if I delete this thing? Can I still see it? Yes, only in Indraprasth. So you will have to go there. You can still see what does not exist in the world. Clear? But it is only one-way entry. There is no coming back from that place. Or you will have to come in your second incarnation, avatar. No, you would laugh at it. Somebody asked me really. If you delete the original file, the link would still remain. Only the link count column will go down by 1. So I am saying this time I am trying to link a directory. So here I am at my home directory. I am using a hard link. Actually I am trying to create a link of directory 1 as directory 111. See what it says. Hard link not allowed for directory. This is important. You cannot link directories with a hard link. Hard link not allowed for a directory. The next thing I told you then, that both the source and target files must be under same file system. Directory could be different. Understand what I mean by this. I am using df-h command to find out how many file systems are there. So there are 3 file systems that you can see in a df. Disk free -h is for human readable format. Show me the disk free in the human readable format is the command. So how many file systems are there? You can see it here. File system SDA1, SDA3. One is under root, another is under U002. Now see here. I have a file. I want to check where I am. I said df-h dot. Dot means wherever I am, my current working directory, show me under which file system it falls. My current working directory falls under which file system? SDA1. This is the name of the device. I go to U002 and TMP. I see there are multiple files. I said whatever is my present working directory, tell me where it falls. It falls under SDA3. So I am talking about one partition named SDA1. another partition named SDA3. These partitions must have been separately formatted and subsequently mounted. So you need to format SDA1 separately, SDA3 separately. This is how you got file system on SDA1 device, file system on SDA3 device, and then later on they were mounted. One was mounted as root, SDA3 was mounted as /U002. Remember the process of where I explained cooked disk device. Cooking a disk is connect it, detect it, optionally partition it, format the entire disk, or if you have created a partition, format the partition. Formatting the partition will get a file system on it. Once a file system is available, mount it and start using it. So when I formatted the device dev SDA1, the file system was created. It was mounted as root. When I formatted another partition SDA3, it was formatted separately and was later mounted as U002. So I am talking about two separate file systems. And one of the limitations of hard link I said is both the source and the target files must be from the same file system. See what happens if I do not follow this rule. So in my home directory, there was a file named file1.txt. I want to create an alias of that one under /U002tmp. Home directory is in a different file system. U002tmp is in a different file system. I said ln/home/dic/this file as U002 tmp file 1_alias.txt. So what I am trying to create? I am trying to create for this file an alias here. And when I press enter, see what it says. Creating a hard link U002tmp file1 alias txt for your original file home dic file1.txt. Invalid cross device link. It says your devices are different, and I know from here they are indeed different. One device is SDA1, another device is SDA3. So indeed those devices are indeed different, and I cannot create an alias for different files belonging to different file system. Where my source is from a different file system, target is from a different file system, you can't create an alias. People say, do you mean that I cannot have a file in one directory and another? I am not talking about directories. As long as both the directories are from the same file system, it's okay. See here another example. I am in home dic. I said to which file system my home dic folder is part of? SDA1. I go to /tmp. I said to which file system /tmp belongs to? So both are part of same file system in this case. If I try to type the same command this time, it has no problems, because both source and target are part of the same file system, and the file system device that I am talking about is /dev/sda1, and the file system is all mounted in both the cases as root. Now see here, if I say ls-li of this file and this file, they both shows you the same inode number. They both show you the link count as 2. They both show you the same modification timestamp. Whatever is the permission for the original file, the same permission is reflected for the alias file. What if I change the permission of this file to 777 and I obtain this thing? See here, the alias also changes the permission. Clear? Because ultimately I am referring to the same file. The only difference is the name is different. Clear? So this is all about hard link. So whenever you get an error, something like a cross device reference was found, then you must be able to guess what could be the reason. invalid cross device link. That means your source and target are part of separate file system, and you are trying to create a hard link. So hard link does not allow this. So two things that hard link does not allow: it does not allow you to link directories, it does not allow you to link files where the source and the target themselves are from two different file systems. Next one is soft link or a symbolic link. A soft link, which is also known as a symbolic link, can overcome the limitations of hard links. There were two limitations for hard links. A soft link can link directories, was the first limitation with hard link, but now you can do that. And can also link files from different devices or file systems. So both the limitations of hard link can be overcome with a soft link as an alternative. The only difference in the command creation is you have to use -s to indicate that you are trying to create a symbolic link or a soft link. See here again. I am in my home directory as user dick and I am creating an alias. I said again I will create touch original.txt and I am adding one line to original.txt. So I have only one file, original.txt. This time I want to create a link, but a soft link. I said ln-s home dict, name of my file, to home dict first alias.txt. Now if I check ls-li, see visibly the difference. The first difference, the original file and the alias does not share the same inode number. Difference number one. Original file was reportedly shown as a regular file. Alias is shown as a L for a symbolic link. Original file shows some different permissions. The alias always shows RWX, RWX, RWX. Always. Link count column is not changing. Obviously, if their inode number is not same, how can link column count column be changed? Source is showing 40 bytes. The alias is showing 23 bytes. How come? But are still pointing to the same file. And the notation is also different. The alias shows as if it's a pointer to my original.txt. So I said, show me what's there in the alias. I still have access to the same file, but using a different technique. I say, show me original.txt. It's still the same file. What if I edit the alias? I am editing the alias and I am saying, this line was added in the alias. If I check one more time the output, the original file size has grown from 40 to 92 bytes, but my alias is still of 23 bytes. So understand the differences. Now, why it is showing size as 23 bytes? It is storing the complete path to that file which I used during ln-s command. So I said ln-s source file with the new name. Now I am counting why it is showing size as 23. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it has 23 characters. That's why my alias is showing the size as 23. I want to create another alias. This time I would mention simply original.txt second alias.txt, and then I am checking for all the files. Original, first alias, second alias. Now see the visible difference. Here while creating first alias, I mentioned the absolute path. While creating second alias, I mentioned the relative path. See, that's why the size is showing as 12. Now why 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Clear? That's why the alias is showing the size as 12. For all of them, the inode number is different. The links are showing as L, while the original file is showing as hyphen, a regular file. People say, what if you delete the alias? If I delete the alias, I can still access original.txt. I can still access first alias.txt. Now people say, what if I delete the original file? See here now, I am deleting now original file. Now I want to check again. It says no more original.txt, no more second alias.txt, but first alias.txt, which was earlier appearing in some different color, is now appearing in a red color. And it says first alias is actually a pointer to this one. If I say cat, see what it says now. Because first alias is pointing to a file which does not exist in this world, because the original itself was deleted. So understand the difference between a hard link and a soft link. In hard link, whether I delete my original file or an alias, I can still access it. But in the case of a soft link, it's okay to delete an alias, that's not a problem. But it's not okay to delete the original file, because my link now becomes a dangling link point to a non-existing file. So my first alias.txt has become a dangling link. It's pointing to a file named home dick original.txt, and the file itself I have deleted. Clear? Is such a link of any use to you? There's no use. So delete it if you don't need such link. If not, create original.txt. Again the link will become valid. Now I'm in my home directory. Again, this time I am creating original.txt, which is really not original.txt. It's a duplicate file I am creating, but with the same name. So I created some another original.txt instead. Now I am examining the output of my previous commands. See, my link again become valid. But this time it's not pointing to that file. It's pointing to whosoever is the replacement original.txt. So I said show me now. It shows this is not original.txt. This is a duplicate file with the same name original.txt. My link became active again. Clear? So if you delete the original file again my link will become dangling. So if I delete again and again use the command, my link has again become a dangling link pointing to a file which does not exist in this file system or anywhere in this computer. So it's pointing to something that does not exist. Such links can be cleared by saying clean links. Now if I say there is no first alias, there is no dangling link now, I use the command clean links to clear all those links which were pointing to a non-existing source. So you can clear all such links. The original file shows the file type as regular file. The link shows the file type as a symbolic link. Both the files have different inode number. That's why the link count column is not incremented. The size of the original file shows the file size in bytes, but the size of the link shows the number of characters in the path to the original file. So I told you how many characters were there in the path. That's what it showed, 23 or 12 for first and second aliases respectively. If you delete the original file, the symbolic link becomes a dangling link. If it's of no use to you until the source file is recreated, it's of no use to you until the source file gets recreated. ln-s, so on and so forth. To clear all dangling links, I will add using clean links command. You can create a symbolic link or a soft link using -s. Now let's talk about what was the limitation with a hard link. Can I overcome that limitation? I said ln countries as countries alias. So it says hard link cannot do this. Now I understood that I should have used a -s. Now if I say countries is my original file and countries alias is a pointer to my countries file. If I go to countries, I am here, I say ls, I see states, right, which is what it has. I come back to my original directory, home directory. This time I go to countries alias. I said pwd, it shows me I am now in not in countries but in countries alias. But if I say ls, I again get to see states. Clear? Which means I am referring to the same directory then. The only thing is the name is different. So I can link directories once, so that is proved with a soft link. Can I create a link across file system, which is not possible with a hard link? So I am here in my home directory, which is part of a file system named dev.sda1. There is a file named file1.txt for which I would like to create an alias elsewhere. I am now going to u002 tmp, and once I am there I check which file system it is part of. u002 temp is part of dev.sda3, which is a separate file system. If I try to link with a hard link notation file1 to something under u002 temp, file1 underscore alias dot txt, it says invalid cross device link. I realize yes, this is not possible with a hard link. Now I try to accomplish the same thing with a soft link. This time it has no problem. So cross device linking is possible with a soft link. You can't accomplish the same with a hard link. Clear? So it's very important for you to understand the difference between a soft link and a hard link. Next one is global regular expression print grep command. This is used to search for a given pattern. Pattern is nothing but a word in a given file. In its most generic format, the grep command is written as grep followed by options if any, followed by what is that you want to search for, the pattern, and then in which file or files you want to search for those patterns. So understand this. I am creating a file here, or I think we already have one. If I say some file, this one, and I want to see is there a word named file in new copy 1.txt. So I can say grep, which is the command global regular expression print. I don't want to type any option as of now. I said file is my pattern, and search where? I said search in this file. It prints the line containing the pattern. Understand this, very important. What it prints is even more important. When you say grep followed by the pattern can also be given in single quotes, followed by the file name, it prints only those lines which contains grep. Grep means a, anywhere on the line. So see here, I am creating a multi-line file. Now I want to see where if the file contains a pattern named Pune. So see what it, whenever successful, what it displays? It displays only those lines which contains the pattern. Only those lines. Now what if there would have been multiple lines which contains this pattern? So I have Pune, Pune, Pune at multiple places. And if I say grep Pune, it prints all those lines which contains the given pattern. So grep is a command, Pune is the pattern, cities.txt is the file in which I want to look for that pattern. And when a pattern is found, all the line that contains that pattern will be printed. What if I type something that does not exist in this world? So in my file there is no word called as Hyderabad. So when I said search for a word Hyderabad in cities.txt, it printed null, which means null, no output means no matching pattern was found in the file. So without any options, when I say grep Pune in both .txt prints only those lines which contains Pune anywhere on the line. Anywhere on the line. Then I said grep Pune in cities.txt, nothing was printed. Why? Because the search is case sensitive. All the Pune that I typed in my file was with a proper case where the first alphabet is capital and all others are lower. But while searching I said lower case. So obviously lower case Pune is not equal to the proper case Pune. I said grep, there is no all uppercase Pune in my file. That's why it says there's no such matching pattern found. Clear? No error, no output means the pattern is not found. Prints only those lines which contains capital case Pune anywhere on the line. Now see here, I am showing you the file one more time. Now when I typed grep Pune, it prints me all the line containing the pattern. What if I want to search for the word Pune only at the beginning of a given line? तो मैंने बोला grep Pune in cities.txt, तो जहां कहीं पे भी पुणे आया होगा वो सब लाइंस दिखे. Doesn't matter whether it's beginning, middle or wherever. But what if I want to search it in the beginning? It only printed that line which started with the word Pune. Clear? So when you want to search for a beginning, you should say grep caret pattern file name. So that caret is to search for the pattern Pune as the beginning of any line. What if I want to search for end of the line? Then I should search for Pune dollar. So it only shows those lines which end with Pune. Clear? And what if there is a line which only has Pune? Now is this a beginning or end? I want to print only line that contains the word Pune, nothing else. Then if I say grep caret Pune, it prints me unwanted lines also. If I say Pune dollar, it prints unwanted lines as well. Well, I can say then in that case, ऐसी लाइन जिसकी शुरुआत में पुणे हो और आखिरी में पुणे हो, that means nothing other than Pune on that given line. Clear? So it says it looks for the line which contains only the word Pune, nothing else. So in this case I said show me a line that starts with Pune and ends with Pune. Clear? So caret matches the pattern at the beginning of the line. Dollar matches the pattern at the end of the line. Caret, pattern, dollar matches only that word on a given line. Now you notice that if I give the pattern in any other case other than the one that is mentioned in the file, it will miss matching it. For example, if I say Pune is this way, then if I type lowercase, it will not find a match. If I type uppercase, it will not find a match. But what if I want to find irrespective of the case, all Punes? So see here, irrespective of the case. So I typed all types of Punes. Now what if I want to match all type of Pune irrespective of the case? Then I can use a grep option, grep -I. That -I is for case insensitive match, followed by the pattern. You type it whatever way, doesn't matter. See, it found out all Punes now, irrespective of the case. So it found out uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, insane case, wherever Pune was present, it could find out everything. I option, that I is for here, option of grep command. -I performs case insensitive pattern matching. So it does not consider the case in this. So it will ignore the case and will match every Pune. Uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, camel case, whatever. -C prints the count of matching line containing the pattern. Understand this. It counts the matching lines containing the pattern. Now if I type grep -C Pune in cities.txt, what would be the answer? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which 9? 8 only. Only 8. So it counts the lines containing the pattern. Lines containing the pattern. Right? So 8. What if in my cities.txt I would have had now what do you expect? Do you expect 9 or you expect 13? Answer is 9. Remember, it does not count how many times the pattern has appeared. It counts on how many lines the pattern has appeared. So prints the count of matching lines containing the pattern with -C. -W performs a word match. This is interesting. I want to see how many times the word is has occurred in my file and which are those lines then. So I said grep cities. This is correct? First line it should come, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line. See here, that's why it found out as a match. Well, do you mean to match is which is part of some bigger word? No. I wanted to find out is as a word. In such cases, you can type the option -w. See here, now there are no more history. That history's line is no longer showing up now. Because here is not a word. Here is was part of a bigger word history. But with W you are saying you are only interested in a word. And the word is. Now is, 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 is. Clear? So -w allows you to perform a full word match. Performs a word match rather than performing just a pattern match. -v reverses the output of grep. Normally what does grep prints? What is the output of grep? It prints the lines containing the pattern. If I use -v, it's exactly opposite. It prints only those lines which does not contain the pattern. So see here. I said grep -v Pune in cities.txt. This time it printed only those lines which does not contain the word Pune on it. Clear? So -v reverses the output of grep, prints only those lines which does not contain that given pattern. -l prints only the file names containing the given pattern from the list of files. Now understand this one first. You can give multiple file names also while searching for a pattern. See here, I can say grep Pune in cities.txt and new.txt. So what is this command? What is this pattern? What is this file list? So instead of searching for a pattern in one file, this time I am giving multiple files to search that pattern. Output slightly changes. Earlier, with only one file, it printed me only this much, the line containing the pattern. Now additionally it is showing me as well file name followed by the line containing the pattern. File name was new.txt. This file also contains the pattern Pune. The line was printed. Second line didn't get printed because it never had that pattern. New.txt has a third line which also contains the pattern Pune. So when multiple files are given, it prints the file name followed by the line which contains that pattern. Again the file name followed by the line which contains the pattern. Clear? When multiple files are given. If I give only one file, there is no point in printing the file name now. Because anyways I have given only one file. So I know which line belongs to which file. In this case, since there is only one file that I have given. But sometimes I am not interested in the lines containing the pattern. Sometimes I want to only find out which are the files containing the pattern. So see here, I said Pune in star.txt. So it shows me all the files with their lines. I am not interested in the line. I am interested only if the file contains a pattern, the file name should be printed. In such cases, you can use -l. Now it shows from all the txt files, there are only two files, cities.txt and new.txt, which contains the pattern Pune. So it does not print the line now. This time it only prints the name of the files. So -l prints only the file name containing the given pattern from the list of files that you mentioned. So this time it will not print the line. It will only print the name of the files. And then there are multiple interesting patterns, but that I will discuss in tomorrow's session. So we'll continue again with the grep command. And there are multiple combinations you can form to search for a given pattern from a file. So far we have only discussed searching a pattern, searching a pattern at the beginning, searching a pattern at the end, and then some of the options that one can use with a grep command: -I for insensitive search, -C for count of matching lines, -W for a complete word match, -V to reverse the output of a grep, -L to print only the file names, not the lines containing the pattern. Tomorrow we will see some magical combos which we can put to filter out your pattern. But for the time being, that's it for this session. Do revise this thing.